Well, yesterday we made the dolls in the dollhouse some chocolate candy. Today we are making a box for it to be displayed in. Stay tuned and see how fun and easy this project is. All right, for today's project, I actually don't have a pattern for you because I decided to do this last minute in the middle of making yesterday's video. I decided to make a candy box. So I'm actually, while I'm filming this, yesterday's video is still halfway filmed and sitting to the side. So we're gonna make the candy box to put that candy in that we made yesterday, and then I can get back to finishing up yesterday's video. So I've got a piece of cardstock. You can see this is one I cut a gnome out of. I have a little ruler. You can use any kind of gridded ruler that will measure. You only need to measure it down to a 1/4 inch. I do recommend a see-through ruler. It's a lot easier to tell what you're doing. And this box is not designed to close. It's designed to be displayed open. If you want to fiddle around with the sizes, you can make yours, fold if you want to. So I am measuring a 1/4 inch from this edge, and I am going to draw my lines pretty dark. I recommend on yours, you don't draw your lines so dark. Draw your lines lighter. It'll be easier for you to cover them up later. But I want you guys on camera to be able to see. Now I'm moving up. I'm lining up that line with my 1/2 inch line, and I'm going to mark another line. I'm making both the lid and the box at the same time. Now I'm going to go up another 1/4 inch, and I am going to draw a line. Now, and this little 4.5 inch ruler it's actually a quilter's ruler. It's made for cutting little 4-inch squares of fabric for making quilts, but I love it for marking paper. Right, a 1/4 inch from the end. Then we're going to go up 3/4 of an inch. Try to keep everything really, really square, really straight. Now a 1/4 inch, and I'm going to make this line really wide to remind myself this is my cut between my lid and my box. Now I'm going to repeat those lines. Another 1/4 inch, 3/4 of an inch, and a 1/4. All right, so we've got that far. Now I like to score these before I take them off, before I cut it apart. I'm going to use a dotting tool. I'm going to pick which one. I'm going to use this one. You can use the back of like a butter knife. You can use any number of things to score with, whatever you've got that works well for you. If you have time, you could plug these numbers into your Cricut and make a box that way. I just literally did not have time to make a pattern for you guys this week. So I'm not going to bother scoring this because this is a cut line. So score that line and score this line. Now we're going to go back and we're going to score about 1/8 of an inch up from that line. It won't split this exactly in half, and you may need to do some trimming. We're going to do the same thing here. Now, trying to figure out where to put this so that you guys can see. This line, not this line, it's a cut line. This line, this line, this is a cut line. Now, approximate the middle, we can always do some trimming. All right, it's just easier for me to score before I cut it apart. You might find it's easier for you to cut it and then score it. That's all personal preference. All right, this piece of paper out of my way. And I'm going to cut on that cut line. Now I do need to go back because I've left too much here. I want to cut off most of that line on that side. That will keep this about, it'll keep this more even sizes. Same here. All right, now we are going to fold on all of those scored lines. We're going to do some pre-folding. I'm only going to glue one of these boxes on camera, and then I'm going to turn the camera off, and I'm going to take pictures as I fold the second one. So you'll be able to consult the blog post for photos if you miss it. All right, and let's go ahead and move a tray back, as it'll be easier for me to work on the hard surface now that I'm not trying to score things. All right, I'm gonna put this one off to the side. Now, we have some trimming to do, and I should have my smaller scissors, but I don't, so I'm going to use these. We are going to trim that on all four corners so that we keep the tab that goes with the long piece. Now, we are going to angle and cut off. And we're also going to cut this off. Because when I made one up a few minutes ago, kind of as a mock-up, I found that I needed that trimmed out of the way. In fact, let's go ahead and cut it before we cut. You don't need a lot of tab. Let me see, I didn't cut that quite square. Get that cut a little bit better. All right, that is the shape we're left with now. So now I need to get some glue on my tray. And I'm just going to use one of my dotting tools to do this. You can use a toothpick, but I like using the dotting tool because I can kind of use it as a tool to help me to force the glue down too. Now I'm going to do just the long sides. We're going to ignore the short sides right now. I'm going to put glue on the whole side. And like I said, I'm going to attempt to have some good pictures of this whole process on the blog post. There. Now my one side is done, kind of wipe any excess glue away. I'm almost out of toothpicks, and so I've been using my dotting tool more for gluing, and I kind of like it because I can just wipe the glue off of it. Now if you follow my 18-inch doll channel, we did a candy box and chocolate candies over there too. It's kind of why we're doing it here. I didn't want the Dollhouse dolls to be left out, so I figured we would go ahead and do them here too. Now we've got that. Now the next part is a little on the fiddly side, but you can do it. Fold these up so they're not going to get on the wrong side. On the blog post, I'll try to remember to talk about how you could make this so you could actually fit the lid on. Like I said, I just did not have time for doing that math. I'm going to fold those tabs on the side up against that glue I just put on the end tab. right, one box, one end done. Let's get this end done. And I apologize, it's not a heart-shaped box. I didn't have time to design that this year. Maybe next year we can work on a heart-shaped candy box for Valentine's Day. All right, then just repeat it with your other piece and set that aside until the glue is completely dry. Then I'll come back and go on to the next step. So I'll be right back. All right, the glue has dried, and I put these onto a piece of wax paper. I wanted something that was non-stick so that they won't stick. They'll stick to my tile if I put wet paint against that. And normally I would use parchment paper, but I'm out of parchment paper and I haven't managed to pick some up. So I have some red paint over here. This is just flag red. And I have some white paint over here. I'm going to paint my bottom of my box in with the white paint, mainly because I've got my pencil lines on there and they're kind of dark. If you make your pencil lines lighter, you probably won't need to do this step. I just want to neaten it up a bit because I made those pencil lines extra dark so you guys could see them. As you can see, they're pretty dark here. And I may have to put a second coat on to cover that all the way. I will see. Oh, that paint is really old and it's really lumpy. So I'm going to paint the bottom of the box white. And then I'm going to wipe my fingers off as best I can. And I have a brush that's already stained in red paint. And I'm going to paint the inside and the outside of the lid of our box in the red. And then we'll do some further embellishment of this once the paint is dry. So I think we all know how to paint, so I am going to turn the camera off. I'm going to finish this up, making sure I don't leave too many spots on this red that show, because I don't want the white cardstock to show through this. I may need to do a second coat of the red. I probably will, in fact. I'll see. So I'll let you know how many coats it took. And when this paint is dry, I'll come back and we can go on to the next step. All right, I brought you down a little closer. Hopefully I can remember to stay under camera, under frame. Now, this is still a little more transparent than I would like, but I don't think that particular paint is going to become opaque in the near future. It's just too transparent of a color. I need to find some different red. So I have some washi tape. I want to decorate the top of my box. Now, you could use a sticker. You could decorate your box with any number of things. I'm going to put this little pink washi tape with the little gold hearts on it. And I am going to run it diagonally. But I'm going to put glue under it. This is something that I learned doing card making. Stickers and washi tape a lot of times will come unstuck on things that are handled, like greeting cards, or in this case, this little box. And I don't want this to come off. So I'm going to cut or tear off a piece of washi tape that is longer than the width of my box. And I'm just going to put it over that glue. I'm going to press it down. I am going to let this part dry, and once this dry, well, I can probably do this now. I'm going to add a little more glue. And I can cut this off now. Then we are going to put a coat of Mod Podge over this once this glue dries, and that will pretty much make this permanent. I just don't want to take a chance on the washi tape coming off of this while it's in storage between this year and next year. When I pull out my Valentine miniatures next year, I want to still have this on the candy box. So I will let this dry. When that gets completely dry, I will come back and we will add a clear coat, and then we'll glue our candy in. So I'll be right back. All right, that glue is dry, and I've got just a little bit of Mod Podge out here. I've got satin Mod Podge there. I definitely don't want to take a chance on getting any of that red paint into my container. And I'm not going to do the very bottom, but I am going to do the inside of the white piece and the sides. And again, I'm working on a piece of wax paper. That way, if I don't get it moved around, it won't stick. And since I am going to glue the lid on at an angle, I'm not going to bother putting Mod Podge on the inside of the lid. I did make sure that my washi tape was completely held down though. And once again, remember not too thick of a coat, because thick coats of Mod Podge have a really bad habit of remaining sticky. And I am going to let, oops, I wandered out from under the camera there. I am going to let this Mod Podge dry, and when it is completely dry, we'll come back, we'll glue the candy in, and we'll glue the lid on at a fun little angle, and we will have this project done and ready for display. So I'll be right back. All right, the Mod Podge has dried on my box. I did spread just a little thin coat of some tacky glue in the bottom, so that way it had a little time to get a little thicker, a little bit set up. And I have some of my chocolates here that we made yesterday. Now I won't make you watch me put all of these in. Not sure how many I'm going to get in here. I have a piece of raw spaghetti. Hopefully, yes. Between that and the dotting tool, we can set these in here. So I'll just do a few on camera, and then I'm going to turn the camera off and get everybody else placed. Ah, you guys are watching, that's why it's not picking it up. Be sure when you put down the round ones that you have the round end. Oops. You have the rounded top up. So I am going to turn the camera off so I can get my head down here where I can actually see what I'm doing. I'll arrange these in here, and then I'll come back and show you how it looks. All right, they're not perfect, but they're fine. The way I'm going to display mine is just to leave the box lid kind of off like that. I was going to glue the lid on, but I think I will just leave the lid the way it is. I love how this project turned out. And I'm glad I went back and did the box so that we could have it with our chocolates we made yesterday. Be sure and check the blog post. I'll have more information over there, including photographs and the dimensions. Hopefully I'll remember to put the dimensions that I drew the box. If you enjoyed the video, be sure and hit the like button. Leave me a comment. What kinds of things would you like to see in future videos? If you enjoy my content and haven't subscribed, I encourage you, hit that subscription button and the notification bell so you know when I put up a new video. Thank you very much for watching today, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.